Today, we are going to combine ER verbs conjugation in present tense with French expressions that French use every day. I'm Thomas and I teach French, so let's get into it. This episode focuses on ER verbs, which infinitive form or the to form ends with ER, pronounced E, and you ignore the R. ER verbs represent more than 90% of French verbs. It's almost the French verbs. So when you know how to use them, you can basically handle almost all situations in French. And the first one is to walk, marcher. You recognize a march, like a parade or a demonstration, where people walk or march on some place. So we are used to say to march, to say to walk, marcher. And that's really the usual word. I walk is je marche. For I, you just replace ER by an E only. And you never really pronounce the E. The E is always here to reveal the last consonant or to activate the last consonant. Marcher also means to work, for to function. For any device like a computer, a smartphone, a software, or things like a washing machine or an oven. To say it works, you say ça marche. For it, she, and he, you take the verb here, marcher, and like for I, you replace ER by an E only. It's quite usual to say ça marche for any kind of device. Even ça marche bien for it works well, or ça marche pas for it doesn't work. And ça ne marche pas when you write it. And the expression ça marche is also used a lot to say okay, yes, I agree, or sure, you say okay, ça marche. Now I want to tell you about to give in French, which is donner, also very common in French. How to remember donner? Donner relates to donation, the act of giving. Donner with a double N. So how to say you give for the singular you? You give is tu donnes. Just like for I and it, she and he. But this time you replace ER by an E and a silent S. So there's no difference in spoken French. And in written French, the silent S is automatic with tu. Now, to give a hand is quite common in French. Donner un coup de main. Hand is main. But if you simply say directly to give a hand, we visualize a real hand alone. And that makes a bad effect. So never forget to say un coup de main, like a punch of hand. But that really means to help. The to of you give to is usually a with an accent. So you give a hand to donne, tu donnes un coup de main à donne. How would you say I give a hand to donne? Je donne un coup de main à donne. And she gives a hand to donne. Elle donne un coup de main à donne. Now a verb quite present in the French culture, at different levels, let's say. It's to think. Penser, like pensive, when you think very seriously and quietly. So as often in English, that sounds very serious, very formal. But in French, that's just the word we use. That's normal. Penser. We often say, I think that. Je pense que. That, just after a verb, is que. I think that. I believe that. I guess that. That is que. We think in spoken French is on pense. The conjugation of we in spoken French is the same as it, she, and he. Now, they think is elle pense. When they refers to women, you replace ER by ENT. And the N and the T are silent. They think is il pense when they refers to men or to a mixed group. It's maybe currently changing for the mixed group, but we'll see that another time. Anyway, for they, il and elle, the verb always ends with a silent N and a silent T. How would you say, they think that you give a hand to donne when they refers to women? Elle pense que tu donnes un coup de main à donne. Now, to complete the list, we should add you think when you is the plural you. This one is easy because it sounds exactly the same as the infinitive form, the to form. The plural you is vous. So how would you say you guys think? You think with the plural you. Vous pensez. I said it sounds like the infinitive form. I didn't say you should write it the same way. So vous pensez ends with a Z. And all verbs with vous end with a Z. There are so few exceptions that they'll be very easy to learn. And it's often the same story with the French E sound. We write an E and we add something, an accent or a letter, that change it into E. Now you know almost everything about ER verbs in present tense. To be completely complete, you need to know we think in written French. Nous pensons. French verbs with nous always end with on, with a silent S. But keep in mind that nous is less used. It sounds very formal. It's really a written form. Now what's great is that you can combine all these verbs with the verb to go to talk about the future. For instance, he's going to walk, il va marcher. Or it's going to work, ça va marcher. And to go further and really see how to conjugate to go, I strongly recommend you to watch this episode, where you'll learn how to use to go while asking directions in this episode, right here.